Imagine you've got a line of domino pieces and every single domino piece represents one day of hard work towards your dreams. One bad day comes along, which is one domino piece. This domino piece is, a bad domino piece because it's a bad day. And you end up knocking that domino piece over just because you had this bad day, right? Then this bad day causes all of these other domino pieces to fall. And that is exactly what can happen if you can't deal with a bad day, right? And the reason I make this video is because literally yesterday I had a really, really bad day. And I had so many doubts in my mind, and it happens, right? It's a test from God. It's a test to us to prove that you're worthy of the success that you actually want to come for yourself, right? And I had this yesterday. Literally, I was feeling really doubtful. I was feeling really lethargic, really sluggish. It'd been the day that I'd came back from holiday, and it was not yesterday, but, I'd been back a few days, and it was the first day that I was going back to college, and it was just so mundane, right? I had to get up, I had to go to college again, and then, stuff like that. It was kind of just already, set out to be a bad day, and it was a bad day, right? Sales were low, I was back at college, and just overall, literally so many things were, not going in my favour. I was trying to edit a video, an app wasn't working properly, I was trying to do this, that, I was trying to sort a website out, and just some issues with, setting it up. There was just so many different things, right? So many things that, basically would make a lot of people give up, right? And there's a thing, the mindset is what actually sets apart kind of the 1% to the 99%, or not even the 99%, but sets apart the people who are trying to succeed, right? Because there's still some people who are trying to succeed who, aren't strong-minded enough to be able to pass through these, bad days, right? Yesterday, I could have easily said, right, I've had enough of this, there's so many issues, there's so many problems, I just don't feel like doing the work today, I just don't feel like getting everything done today, I'm just going to not do it. I could have easily said that, right? Because there were so many doubts in my mind, there were so many just, negative thoughts in my mind, and I could have easily just said, right, no, I'm not doing this, I'm not getting the work done, that's it. I could have easily done that, but I didn't. And that is exactly why, exactly how sort of the 1% become the 1%, because even everyone has these bad days, right? Especially us entrepreneurs and just anyone running a business, really, you're going to have bad days. But what sets apart the successful entrepreneurs, the successful, whatever you do, right? I do organic dropshipping. So whatever you do, right? Whatever sets you apart from the successful version of you, or the successful person that you kind of look up to, is exactly that, right? They have a mindset that allows them to carry on no matter what, right? Because we're going to have these days, you're going to wake up, you're going to feel lethargic still, you're going to feel like not doing what you need to do today. But that is why people succeed and why some people don't, and that's because the people who succeed can overcome this, right? And I spoke about this a little bit in my last video, right, about unlinking your emotion to the results of whatever you do. So that's one thing to obviously build on this, right? Because if you have a bad day, sometimes the bad day can be caused by obviously the emotional side of things with the lack of results. Personally, that wasn't the case for me. Even though I had 0 sales, that was not the reason. Well, it was bad, but that is not the primary reason why that day specifically was bad. That day specifically was bad because of just basically all the different things, I was just having so many things thrown at me. But again, it's all a test, right? If you can understand, going on a thing here, if you can understand that every single problem you have is simply just a test from God to test your worthiness of being successful. Because you'll understand, right, if you can actually just carry on, no matter what gets thrown at you, right, all these different things get thrown at you, all these different problems, if you can carry on through the problems, automatically you will see success after it. Because it's just guaranteed, right? It's literally everyone talks about like this secret to success, everything like that. The secret to success is literally being able to get through and tackle through anything that is thrown at you, any of the challenges. It is all like, imagine, right? Imagine you are on a level right now. To get to that next level, you're going to have to go through challenges to get there. These challenges are all of the different problems that you face in, maybe it's everyday life, maybe it's just every now and again. But either way, right, any problem, any negative thought that kind of takes you off your mindset, because it happens to me as well, you know, I'll have like these negative thoughts that just kind of take me off track, take me off my mindset, you know, these thoughts of just doing some, like, you know, just not doing the work today, anything like that, you know, these negative thoughts, anything like that can kind of just like be this brick wall that's like coming towards you. But what's going to set you apart is if you can just break through that brick wall and carry on, because you got to understand that it's going to happen, right? You're going to get these like times, you're going to get these different challenges that come towards you, and you just got to be able to get through them to be able to level up. Because, you know, if we talk about like the difference between like 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures, stuff like that, the different, like, there's just different challenges that come at different levels. But you just need to learn to be able to break through the challenges at your level, to be able to then break through the challenges that are above you as well. Because it's all a mindset game, right? Because it's true, you know, everyone says mindset is everything, and it is absolutely true, because in times where you have a bad day, right, it's not skill that's going to take you away, you know, it's not skill that's going to sort of like stop you from having that bad day. Because even when you're successful, right, even when you think, right, this is what I've been dreaming of, you know, all these different things, you're still going to have like a day or so every now and again where you're going to just wake up with just like the wrong mindset, right? You'll just wake up with like, these negative thoughts, this test to you to see if you're still worthy of it. And if you don't have a good mindset at that level, then it's going to take you off, right? And it's so easy on these bad days to give up what you're doing. And, you know, there's so many accounts that I've seen, not accounts, but like so many like things and people I've seen like have one bad day and then just give up with that whole, like throw everything away, right? They'll be working on something for years and years and years and then have one bad day and just throw it all away. You know, I've seen it happen. And just think, right, think what I said at the start of the video about the dominoes. Think how much you've put in to to whatever you're doing already, right? Because, you know, if I think about personally, I've been doing organic dropshipping now for like just under 2 years, like over a year and a half. It's between that. And what you've got to understand, what you've got to think is like, think about how much you've put in, right? What, like, think about when you started. Why did you start? You started for a reason, okay? And then think about all of the hard work that you've already put in. Would it be like generally a good idea to just throw it all away just because one day you felt bad, one day you felt like you shouldn't be carrying on with this? Because no, it's not a good idea at all. And when it comes to kind of tackling the challenges on the day, you just got to go full force at them. You got to overcome the challenges no matter what. And I think the best way to kind of do it is by sort of like yesterday, right? When I was having this bad day, I generally felt like I could just go to sleep. And if you see my other videos, you know I don't really like sleep a lot. Just generally, I don't really know why. I've just never really been someone to sleep a lot. Which probably explains the bags under my eyes and stuff, but whatever. Aside from that, right, you got to think, yesterday, I literally had this like urge, and I know it was a bad day because I never have these like sort of urges to just like go to sleep, and I generally, like the other day I generally did. It's not like I was like underslept or anything either, you know, I'd had a decent amount of sleep the night before, and I just had this like massive urge to just literally go to sleep. I just felt really tired. But instead of going to sleep, because I know as well, there's another like mindset trick with you. If you choose the easier option, your brain's going to rewire itself to always chase this easier option. So I know that yesterday, if I just gave into these negative thoughts and actually went to sleep when I just felt like it, when I felt like, you know, I still had stuff to do on my to-do list and I could have just gone to sleep. But if I did that, if I followed through that, I know that it's not just going to affect me one time. It's going to affect me many times, because then whenever that gets thrown at me again, my brain's going to be a lot stronger, force. And if you don't already, you definitely need to be thinking this way, because one decision can actually like change a lot of things. You know, one decision can have a massive impact, just like the one bad day can have a massive impact. One decision can have a massive impact on the mindset you've built over time. So just make sure that, like, you know, if you come to this crossroads where it's like, choose the easier option or choose the option that I know is right, but it's going to be hard, then do the right one. You know, make the right choice, because it can have everlasting effects. You know, it's this concept of one thing, right? One thing could exceed you. One thing could change your life forever, you know, in a good way, or one thing could change your life forever in a bad way. And you've just got to make sure that you're taking the steps to doing it so it's the good way, because obviously you don't want to be like making one decision that could just throw away literally everything you've worked for. So just remember this, right? When you're having a bad day, don't choose the easier option. Make sure to choose the right option. Even though it's a bit harder, it's going to get you through it, and it builds your mindset over time, right? You're gonna reward yourself. You're gonna be happy with yourself for choosing the option that you know is more rewarding, but it's gonna be harder. Because, like I say, yesterday, instead of going to sleep, I just carried on working throughout the night. I got everything I needed to do done, and then obviously the next day I wake up in a happier mood. And it's just guaranteed to do that, because, you know, you pass the test for the day. And it's not like it's going to be every day like that. And that's another thing you need to understand as well. One day you could be feeling absolutely awful. The next day you could wake up, you could be perfectly fine. And that's literally kind of how it was for me, you know. I had a really bad mindset. I'd literally been like, negative thought, give up. And then the next day I wake up and I'm fine. So that's another thing to keep in mind. The fact that things can change quickly, both in business, mindset, life, everything. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. It was a bit of a long one, but I just felt like I had a lot to say on this. So thank you for watching. If you want to follow more of the journey, please consider subscribing to this channel. I'm really grateful for all of like the new subscribers and everything. Hope you're enjoying the content. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video.